His body is the equivalent of a hoarder's home. Like, he needs to do some cleaning up. Look, he's messy, man.
Loreboy's here. The internet's #1 I just wrote podcast in my script. That's not our intro.
Prove me wrong, idiot.
That's it. Yeah, world's #1 podcast.
Fuck you.
And we're also the only podcast which controls how often the sun rises and sets. Fun fact.
Oh.
I'm your host, Ethan Palmer, here with my two favorite fae creatures, James and Peter. Say hi, James and Peter.
Hello.
Thanks to James and Pepper, aka James Pepper, and Dr. Deusy for joining the Patreon this week. I don't know if that's how you pronounce your last name, Mr. Deusy, Dr. Deusy, excuse me, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it because it's spelled close enough.
And James Pepper surely must be a doctor, right?
Yeah, Dr. Pepper.
I hope so. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny. I was thinking about the vegetable. And I was just like, he's probably so fresh. He's probably so refreshing to work with.
My boy, James Capsicum.
Like a bell pep. Just remember, bell pepper, if you eat the seeds, they'll fucking kill you.
You die. Yeah, if you eat all the seeds.
What?
Of a green bell pepper specifically.
Yeah.
Quote famously my mom.
Scientist.
Oh, okay.
Yes, if you guys want to shout out on the show, check out the link to our Patreon in the description below. There's some other stuff. Check it. I don't know. Check it out, dude. You got eyes and fingers. Well, I don't know that you have eyes. I don't know that you have fingers. Check it out. However you got here, get there. You can do it.
It's just as easy.
Yeah. Easier, because we're giving you a link to that. I don't think we've ever given you a link to this.
We're going to be talking on Instagram now, actually. I've learned.
Oh, yeah. Somebody found our Instagram page before the podcast. Feels untrue based on our
fair enough.
Based on the amount of effort we put into our socials, Instagram being the one we put the most effort in.
Look, you get 3.8 posts a month on Instagram. I'm doing fine.
We're going to be talking about Lorwyn Shadowmoor today from Magic the Gathering. Okay, so what do you guys know about Lorwyn Shadowmoor? Huh? Lorwyn Shadowmoor. Hilarious? Why so hilarious? Why so serious?
One for the lore boys and Shadowmoor. It's a very D&D sounding name. D&D I've always appreciated. I think it's very cool. I love how some of the classic names, there's just nothing creative about it. What is the Underdark? Right?
Yeah, exactly. It's Dark Under.
Yeah, exactly. And World of Warcraft, also a thing I appreciate, also has a similar naming convention of just like, it's called Ironforge. All the dwarves, it's like, yeah, here's John Steelbeard. And you're like, okay, whatever, man.
Yeah, actually, and then the undead city that is under an actual city is named the Undercity.
There you go.
Yeah. I love it though. Yeah.
It's gonna be loosely based on some real world folklore. So knowing Shadowmoor, then Pete, do you want to take a guess at where in the world it'd be based on?
Shadowmoor, you said?
Yeah, if you're gonna break down the names like that.
Either some of the duskier Spaniards or Scotland.
Ireland, Irish, and Welsh. I don't know if the Irish also have moors.
Okay,
I mean,
Celtic.
Broadly British Isles, broadly Celtic.
Cool.
I've seen a few people say Irish specifically. I've seen a few people say Welsh specifically. I think the official response is British Isles generally, but
okay.
Wales
is a made-up country. It's okay.
True. The names of their towns look like spells, so that's fun.
Oh.
With the plane, so it's a plane in Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering is a multiverse. We got a whole slew of episodes. If you want to learn more about it, just check them out. There's probably links in the description. I don't know. But this one canon world is based on Welsh and Irish folklore, British Isle folklore. Like I said, it is a world of binary states. It is governed by a magical phenomenon known as the Great Aurora. So, long time ago, Cotton Eye Joe and this plane would exist for approximately 300 years as Lorwyn, which was a realm of eternal summer where the sun never set and the world was bathed in golden light and vibrant, unchecked growth. Okay. It's like a storybook world, right? Of pastoral hills, clear meandering rivers, so on and so forth.
Yeah, this would be the British Isles from the stories, not the British Isles as we have always known them to be.
Exactly.
Damp and swampy.
Yeah, this is the British Isles if you count the Caribbean Isles that they colonized and brutally subjugated.
Yes.
Right.
Right.
If you include Jamaica in the British Isles, it's exactly like that.
Yeah, exactly. So It's like it's Lorwyn. The plane is Lorwyn, and it's this beautiful idyllic plane for about 300 years. But as the 300-year approached, the sky would darken. An event known as the Great Aurora would sweep across the land. The sun vanishes, replaced by eternal night. The vibrant forests would twist into gnarled, spooky woodlands, and the plane's inhabitants would transform as well. Their bodies warping and their minds rewritten to suit the new hostile environment of Shadowmoor.
Okay.
So,
what were they before? Is this a elf or a man plane?
We'll get into it. So, one of the only planes, Lorwyn Shadowmoor, has no humans, no native humans on it. Like, there's planeswalkers who visit, but there's no humans on the plane.
Nice.
We do have different sapient species. Kind of makes sense for like the fairy tale world setting, right? Where there's all these fake creatures instead of being like traditional humans. And there is like a human proxy. They're kind of like halflings. They're called Kithkin, and we will talk a little bit about them. We're going to talk a little bit about. We're going to kind of go over the story, and then we'll talk a little bit more about like the plane and the species that are living in there.
Okay.
So the primary groups of species that we have are Kithkin, which are kind of like hobbits, boggarts, which are kind of like goblins, elves, which are kind of like elves, marrow.
Hey, slow down. What was that third one?
The little guy, big pointy shoes, and they go, "Oh man, I get to work at Santa's workshop."
Okay,
those guys.
Okay.
We have marrow, who are like fish people, merfolk. And we have humanoid elementals. We got flamekin or cinders, depending on if they're Lorwyn and Shadowmoor, because we are going to talk about that a little bit. And we have like tree folk, stuff like that, right?
Okay.
So there's giants, tree folk, changeling. The little guys called noggles. I'm not going to talk about it all, but there's the name.
Now I'm curious.
So, like I said, the denizens change when the plane changes, right? Like when the plane shifts from Lorwyn into Shadowmoor every 300 years. Flamekin becomes cinders, right? Most don't have a second name for themselves. All of them are changed in some way. And usually it's like, hey, they're happy and good in Lorwyn, and then they're kind of like evil and paranoid in Shadowmoor. Okay.
Cool.
So yeah, that's the defining feature of the plane, of course, right? If you got a plane that does that every 300 years, that's going to be the thing that people talk about when they send a postcard.
Everything's nice when it's sunny out, but then the aurora rolls in, and all of a sudden the noggles are just like, "Did you know that the merfolk control the media?" Like everybody's just like, it's all dark and crazy.
The noggles are like, "No, it's the immigrants in it. There's no problem with this place. Huh? We got to get out of that bloody EU, huh?"
It's like the second they did Brexit, the sun never came up again. It's just like scary aurora.
So now I'm kind of an expert now because Ethan bought me a deck for Christmas. I have the Saltai Arisen
to talk about it, huh?
deck. Yeah, I couldn't. I played exactly 3 games, so I'm kind of expert.
Sure. You take off.
Is there like colors associated with this plane, or is there like multiple types of decks that would be within this plane? Like, how does it relate to actual decks and like the cards and how they play?
There's okay. So the set. The block, it was 4 sets, which came out in I think 2007, 2008. So there was Lorwyn, then there's Eventide, which is kind of like the Aurora changing into Shadow. There's Shadowmoor, and then there's Morningtide. Were the 4 blocks. There's 4 books associated with those blocks. Yeah, like there is colors in Magic, but it's not like it's not like white is the color of Lorwyn. Probably more so than black colored mana, but like red and green and blue are going to feature just as prominently in both. You know what I mean?
Okay. That helps put
Merfolk,
context, though. That's a whole block.
The fish people in Lorwyn are probably more green and blue, or blue and green. And the fish people in Shadowmoor are probably more blue and black, right? Like they both have blue, but they're evil now. So they get more black color in their mana.
Okay.
Yeah. Spooky deep sea guy now who controls the media, opposed to much more nice, like colorful Marlin from Finding Nemo, who controls the media.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Merfolk out here being like, "We're gonna fill the swamp."
That's very good.
That's good.
So we got this change between light and dark, and most folks in the plane believe that this is the natural cycle, right? But as George Carlin once said, The average person is too stupid to know when an evil Fey queen is tricking them to harness the power of the plane's transformation from day to night. Right.
Right. I do remember
And
that.
the guy was pretty wise, but beyond his years. I think it's fair to say. So I sent you guys a picture. High above the plane, secluded in the mystical realm of Glen Elendra, ruled Una, Queen of the Fae. All right, this is our antagonist story. She's not just a monarch. She's not just a queen, though she does slay. She is the architect of the Great Aurora. Okay. She had discovered a way to harness the massive release of mana that occurs during the planar shift. And by controlling the Aurora, she feasts on this energy, right? She's been using it to maintain her power, or grow her power, maybe I should say, and become immortal for since time immemorial, basically.
Okay.
She's been running the show. It's unclear the mechanism of like how she does it. The source material for this entire episode is 4 books, which were written in 2007 and 2008, and which 3 copies are I'm unable to find ebooks of them to buy or anything. Basically, I was able to find 2 of them, but not the other 2. And one of them, I had to, I hate to say it, find an illegal copy because
no.
couldn't buy it anywhere. And it's, I don't know if you guys have ever looked at an illegal PDF before, but sometimes they don't have the search function. So like sometimes the words haven't been like actually copied into PDF. It's just like scans of the page or whatever. So you really gotta dig to find what you want out of those.
That's pretty cool. No, all of my book reports that I've done on the show have been audiobooks. I have been hitherto uncucked. I haven't had to steal. I mean, stealing a YouTube audiobook is obviously stolen. Also, it's just I get in there and listen to half of Fingerprints of the Gods before the DMCA, and boom, episode's done. We're good.
Yeah, people start subscribe to the Patreon so we can like take Saucy out of the elevator factory and just can start getting him converting like scanned PDF files into text for us ahead of time.
Ooh,
yeah. Wait, based.
I need the King in Yellow in the new year. That's it.
Yeah. So Una, this tyrant, also a queen, right? She does have an army and a people of fairies who help her control the memories of the plane's inhabitants, helping her to secure the realm. And when this transformation happens from day to night, people's memories are erased. So they do completely forget who they are and become just like the shadow version of themselves or the day version of themselves.
That's interesting. Do they?
The fairies.
This might sound like a jokey question, but I do mean it genuinely. Do they like wake up in their own home, and do they have like paintings or photos of themselves from the good season?
And no idea of who they are, who the other people like with them are, and yeah, like it's alarming for a lot of people.
Fascinating,
right?
Okay.
Yeah. It's like the rapture happens, but it's like just the left behind people, I guess. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
And everyone's kind of left being like, "Well, the world is completely different now, man. This is kind of wild, right?"
Okay.
So to ensure her reign remains unchallenged, she, part of the spell, like I said, removes everyone's memories, right? A community of friendly, communal Kithkin farmers in Lorwyn would instantly become paranoid, xenophobic survivalists in Shadowmoor with no memory of their previous lives. They believe they always lived in the dark. They just like, they're like, it must have always been this way, but I don't remember what I had for breakfast yesterday, right?
Okay.
This ensured that no history is kept, no knowledge accumulated across, more than 3 centuries, and no civilizations grow to challenge Una's power, right? Because she's the only one that can remember across the gap, basically.
Okay. For the record, we invented the atomic bomb like 80 years ago. We don't need 300 years to take her down. I'm just saying.
It's when you start though, right? like yeah, we invented the atomic bomb 80 years ago, but you go back 1,000 years, you go from the year 1000
I guess
to
we
the year
hadn't been
1800
reset.
and nothing happened, man.
Yeah,
nothing happened, okay?
And it's not like we reset
invented
our brains.
0 atomic bombs in that time, okay? So
What was it like? Ireland invented whiskey and then had 300 years of no more inventions after whiskey.
That's pretty good.
I hope that's true. That's so funny.
Pretty good. So we don't have a civilization to challenge her, but we do have an old and wise tree to do the job. Okay. So I sent you guys a picture of Colfanor. Colfanor is a treefolk sage who is old enough and wise enough to piece together that something strange was happening every 300 years, even if he couldn't remember it. And he's old enough and wise enough to realize that there's something different or there's something coming to the world. And it hasn't been 300 years, but he's like, something is going to happen soon, which is weird also. And he can't piece together exactly what it is, but he's working on it, right?
Right.
And he kind of figures that. Sorry, go ahead.
I feel like a tree should have brown eyes, not blue eyes. His eyes are like shocking in that art. Like the way how light they are and like kind of hidden in this like grotesque body with mushrooms and like moss hanging off it. He almost looks scared too. And he's like an ent. You get
Yeah.
Yeah, his
I don't know.
arms
Yeah,
are very
truthfully.
thin, and it's his hands that make him very kind of creepy because he just does look like Treebeard, like even with the fungus and whatnot. But he does have like spidery evil guy hands, right?
He's kind of gnarled too. Like his back
Yeah.
is hunched and yeah. Anyways,
He's
sorry to
old,
interrupt.
man.
He's got foam
old.
neck.
He's based on the yew tree, which I looked up. It's a cool looking tree. So listeners at home, I'm not going to provide a picture. Look up a yew tree. Cool.
What is thumb neck? Is that like Palm Pilot thumb or like phone thumb, but on your neck?
No, I said
like
phone neck. It's like a zoomer thing because you're always looking down to get like Mass Effect Andromeda like hunch sort of thing.
Okay. Yeah, me too.
I'm gonna straighten
posture
it
check.
up right now.
Oh, shrimp check.
There we go. Everyone's looking good. We're looking in form.
Oh my god!
I'm like 6 inches above my microphone now. I just sat up straight. Holy moly! So Kolfnar figures whatever's going on. The queen's been in charge this whole time. I'm going straight to the top. She must know something. She's got to have some part in this, right? But he also figures
a heart carved in, like, you know, like when you're like on a date with somebody, you like carve your initials into his trunk. He's got like, it's like the memento thing. He's got like a upside down heart carved into his chest. It just says "follow the money," and he's just like, "Hang on, a second. I'm going to the top here."
But he also figures, right, that trying to take on the most powerful creature and like politically and probably magically thing in the realm is probably going to get him killed, right? So he figures he needs a way to beat her, even if he does get killed. He takes a seed cone from his own body and he imbues it with his essence and wisdom. And he makes it into like a vessel for his soul, right? He entrusts this seed to his only student, an elf who was destined to become a pretty big figure in the story, a guy named Reese. I sent you a picture of. Reese was originally a high-ranking elf of the Gilt Leaf in Lorwyn, a member of a society that obsessed over physical perfection and beauty. However, at some point while he was trying not to genocide some boggarts, he was damaged, his horns broken, and that's not good news for him, right? So, your point earlier, Jamie, about like the colors of mana, like there is still evil in the world of Lorwyn, and I think this is like a good encapsulation of it, where it's like there is this society, and it's the preeminent elf society in the realm, and the preeminent society, I should say, made up of these elves who believe like if you're beautiful, you can achieve the rank of like a perfect beauty, and it like the rulers of this society use like illusion magic. They're actually like old wizened elves that use like illusion magic to like keep up their appearances, basically.
Oh, cool.
But they're like, oh, if you're ugly, then you don't deserve society and you get cast out, you know, like.
He sent us a picture of like an elf missing its horns with a knife and a bow. And he's like, so you're telling me that the ugly ones, they want to be beautiful, right? So it's like Reese with his knife wants to look like Reese Witherspoon.
Yeah. Okay. It's a bit of a walk, but we got there. I got there. Like it. Yeah. So he's lost his horns in that picture. Just fun fact about researching this episode. So we rely on a variety of sources, and I'll often go to fandom pages to find the sources that I want to use for various stories, right? I think there was one source on Reese's page, and he's like a pretty main character, especially for this story. I think there's one source on Reese's page, and there was one trivia fact. There was one source on Reese's page, and it was for the lone trivia fact, which is on Reese's page, which was that he's left-handed. And that's all I had to work with when I started researching this guy. And we got there, but it's basically like in the picture that I sent you guys, he's holding a knife in his right hand, he's holding his bow in his left hand, which would imply that he's right-handed because when you draw a bow. But then there's another picture of him with it in the other hand, and for some reason that one's more valid, and so he's left-handed. Is like where fandom came to. Fandom's beautiful, never change, never stop with your listicle ads on the side.
I'll get so bad.
I donated $15 to Wikipedia one time in my life. I'll do it if fandom ever asks. I'll do the same. Okay, you guys, guys have done good by me. All right.
I think
So
funny,
Reese.
fuck, what was I gonna say?
Oh no.
Oh yeah, the trivia section is that's like sometimes when I'll hit the trivia section or I hit a page on something I want to research and it's 3 sentences and then one piece of trivia. I'm just like, fuck. I hope the boys can vamp today.
Reese. Oh, Jamie likes Reese in the eyes of the Elven Perfects. He's no longer beautiful. He was stripped of his rank and cast out. Right. He'd been
got
exiled
hurt in battle, and they were just like, "Ew, get out,"
Yeah.
sort of thing.
He got hurt. He got hurt in battle. I didn't write any of this down, so I'm pulling off memory right now. But he got hurt in battle when they sent him to kill some boggarts because they're like they're a problem or whatever. Right? Boggarts are the goblins.
Yeah.
And then he gets there and he kind of realizes like, oh, like they're a problem because they're ugly. Like that's the only reason. Like he's kind of there. He's sent there to like wipe them out. And then there's a tree folk there or a giant, one of the two. And he's like, I don't want to accidentally hurt the giant because they're gonna like release this poison to kill the boggarts. And then anyway, then he gets his horns damaged in trying to save the giant or tree folk from them. And he's not perfect.
Algo
so
doesn't want collateral damage. He's just anti-civilian death, which honestly, bad fit for the military. Just throwing that out there.
It's fun that the ugly people, we can just cast them out. Isn't that fun?
I don't know if we'd make it, guys.
I
I'm
don't
wearing a
think
shirt
so.
that
The
says
last
old
episode of the Lore
Ham.
Boys.
Yeah. I was on the train going to see Ethan this week, and there was these like teenage girls talking in front of me. I'm just playing my Steam Deck, and I overhear them talking. And one girl's like, "You should not date that guy. He's short. He's disgusting." Like, oh my god, that's brutal, man.
Hey,
Yeah,
we
must be
stand
hard
a
out there.
short king on this show. I hope still
We
after
do.
this episode's done, right?
We do.
We definitely
We
do.
Absolutely. So Reese was exiled. He eventually meets Kolfanor. He befriends him. He studies tree magic, like the magic of the yew trees, with Kolfanor. And then Kolfanor, when he creates this seed cone, says like, "Hey, I need you to take this seed, travel to a place called Murmuring Bosk, and plant the seed cone there." And
Is it QBUE?
What?
What's a bosk?
I don't know.
Oh,
It's a place, I guess, a murmuring one, if you will.
yeah.
Ooh.
So he does as he's asked, and I kind of buried the lead a little bit, but he brings along some friends. He's made some friends. We got a bit of an adventuring party. This is like classic magic writing of the time, which is very much like the adventurers do the quest. You know what I mean? It's like you get a party of adventurers and they do their quest, right? There's not too much nuance to it. But he's got his friends. He's got a flamekin named Ashling, an elf named Marilyn, a Kithkin named Brigid Bailey, and a trio of fairies known as the Vendilion. Okay?
Okay.
I
You
did
cut out
not
there, the Vendilion what?
Click.
Okay.
I did not expect the Kithkin to be so Hey Arnold-esque. Their
Yeah, I
heads
know.
are so wide.
The art is goofy.
Oh my
this
God.
set. It's very 2007. It's very like this is peak magic. All right, this
I'm
peak
gonna have
magic
fun with
art.
this.
Hell
will
yeah.
not take question.
Wait a second.
Even Marilyn the elf is pretty all their heads look like a little compressed. But again, I think it's like fairy tale. I don't know if it's intentional to make it look like sort of medieval-esque drawings of the time, or fairy tale drawings.
Yeah.
From like older drawings look bad too.
This fairy's got some fucked up legs.
I like the art. Like, don't get me wrong. It's just very the proportions are just like jarring for a certain couple things. Yeah.
Is the Flamekin's named, or the Ashling? Is her name Ashley?
No, her name's Ashling.
Okay.
She's a flamekin, but I think there's an Irish name which is like Ashlyn. So I think she's like an Irish.
In classic Irish fashion, it's spelled Sioban, and you're like, oh,
yeah.
it's Ashley.
Exactly. So they go to Murmuring Bosk. They find it destroyed, but they plant the seed anyway, and they turn around to go tell Kolfanor. On the way back, they're attacked. Some brigands dump a bucket of water on Ashling's head. Not good for a flamekin, believe it or not. She's doused. She's captured. She's nearly killed by having her flame extinguished. And she's dragged before the man who set her up to be kidnapped. Or should I say, the tree. Kolfanor.
Oh, no.
What?
So
the the teacher who's giving his seed to his only student was a bad guy all along, huh?
Okay, fair enough. We can put it that way. Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
I gotta really think about some of the context in this story.
Yeah.
So Aisling had been doing what Flamekins do in Lorwyn at the time, which is they go on a pilgrimage, basically, and their whole life is about like finding a greater fire elemental to devote themselves to, and then they become like more powerful, and they rise up in like Flamekin society by becoming like more powerful. So she's a pilgrim, right?
Okay.
She's been looking for a greater fire elemental, but it takes time. Maybe she didn't feel like she was ready at the time, canonically. Maybe her greater fire elemental also didn't feel ready at the time. And Kolfanor had need for a greater fire elemental. Okay. So he douses her, or he has her doused, has her kidnapped, and he's basically like, bring her to me, I'll keep watch over her, basically. And then he's like, well, we can now, the greater fire elemental needs to intervene, or Aisling's gonna die, right? So his plan is we'll force the greater fire elemental's hand because it doesn't want to meet her yet, but we're going to force it to by dousing her and nearly killing her. And so he brings the greater fire elemental to her. Now, I don't know if you guys know anything about fire and trees. They don't like being near each other typically, right?
Right.
So the elemental, when kindling Aisling, releases a burst of power, which not only brings the Flamekin back from the brink of death, but also catches Kolfanor on fire, incinerating him. He dies.
It's very funny that he did not plan for this, because he's got the setup, he's got his patsies, and he's just like, now all I need to do is lure a man made of fire to me, and I'm going to kidnap this girl who wants to power up.
His body is the equivalent of a hoarder's home. Like, he needs to do some cleaning up. Look, he's messy, man. He's got a lot of kindling.
He's just like a stack of TV guides conspiring against the party.
Yeah.
Dried out raccoon just like stuck inside of him.
Exactly. Yeah.
Pile of oily rags. Yeah.
It's like a hoarder's home. It's the most savage burn, or the most savage diss I've ever heard in my life.
So yeah, it's funny you say that, Pete, because he did plan for this. He weird plan by our sentient tree, right? He wants to die, and I'm going to say Lore Boy's canon. He needed specifically to die in this way because the greater elementals, like this burst of power specifically, was needed to transfer his memories intact into that seed cone that he's planted. Right? He needs to reincarnate, and I mean, there's some symbolism there with like how some fires or some forests in like California will need forest fires to help them stay healthy.
Yeah,
right?
the heat like opens their seed pods, and then ash is like super
Cleans the
nutritious
brush too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
you need some TV guides in the forest just for health, so they can catch.
You have to go start a forest fire every now and then. It's good for the forest, man. If you live near a forest, you gotta burn it down every now and then. All right. Yeah.
This is not legal advice.
No, legally speaking, that's not true. So
I swear to God, if next season
tell anyone I told you that,
this episode is on the guy they arrest for arson's phone, I'm going to kill myself. That happened actually. Sorry, just a quick aside there, because there was like possibly fake leaked like conversations. Nice synchronized drink, boys. Like possibly leaked information about like the Secret Service guys were making fun of the kid who shot Trump. And like, because he's like hunched over, kind of dork looking guy, bad posture. Didn't check it, or check his fucking sites either, apparently. But he like apparently there's like leaked text talking about like the Secret Service guys like, look at this fucking nerd. What do you think he's got in that backpack? It's just all magic cards. And I was like, if one of our episodes, because I've had complete strangers in the United States listen to our show. Like my friend's boyfriend from Louisiana was already listening to our show when they got together. They hadn't met, right? And I was like, if there's an episode of Magic the Gathering of Lore Boys on this kid's phone who shot
he burns down a forest
president, I'm going to go insane. It was like a real thought I had. I was like,
don't do bad things, guys. Come on. Do good things. right?
Mhm.
And you get to be the judge and arbiter of what you think is a good thing and a bad thing. So
Yeah, and forests need to burn down, so come on.
yeah, come on.
Pack some TV guides in there, like Jamie said.
Yeah, that's it. Carry oily rags with you everywhere you go.
No matter what you're doing, no matter the occasion.
You can't say TV guides to podcasts. Like half of our, if not more than half of our listener base, does not know what a TV guide is.
Okay,
Like,
it's an old thing you'd have in a hoarder house,
they were
right?
they were old. They were old when we were kids, man. Like,
Yeah, print out your emails and put them in. Print out your Snapchats.
yeah,
and,
print out a TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't print a TikTok.
I fucking would. They also don't get that reference. Maybe they do.
Fuck!
Maybe I'm out of touch. Maybe
Are we Unk? Is this an Unk cast now?
Yeah. It's trying to not be Unk. I don't know, man. So
okay,
Kolfinor,
but was sacrificing yourself to a fire elemental Unk or not?
no, I think it's kind of based. What's the opposite of Unk? Nephew?
No idea.
6, 7. Did I do it? Did I do it
I
right?
have no fucking idea.
So Kolfinor reincarnates. The group eventually reunites with him, with the sapling of Kolfinor, as she is now called. And they realize, I mean, I think it is brought up in the book explicitly that the sapling of Kolfinor uses she, her pronouns, but they're like, in their mind, in the canon or out loud, they say like, I'm a fucking tree. Like, I'm not a boy or a girl. Like, what do you mean? You know, like,
Okay,
call me she, her, but I'm a tree, dude. I don't know.
Wait, well, I know with certain plants, there's like, well, we assign them as like male and female for pollinating and stuff. Do trees work like that? I'm asking people who probably don't have the answer. They do?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, you need to slice a fruit tree to grow like apples or oranges.
Yeah, in cities, it's either like you only plant males or you only plant females, because one of them is way worse for pollen. Probably males. So I think you only plant females in cities typically because they pollinate way less. So it's like way less like pollen buildup and also like better
Tree
for people with
cum.
allergies too. Yeah.
Oh, my nose can't handle all the tree cum.
Famously in the States, or probably in parts of Canada too, but I think it's more endemic in the States. There's the cum tree.
I've heard of this. It smells like it.
Smells really bad, and it's like they specifically were breeding like either the male version or the female version.
Do they just plant pineapples underneath it to make it smell better?
Yeah. Okay, they reunite with the sapling of Kolfinor. They realize they need to take out Una and stop all these Aurora shenanigans, right?
Yeah.
Reese, Aisling, Marilyn, Bridget, and the Vendilion clique take their new baby tree to Una's house to stop her. But on their way, they find out there's an imposter in their midst. Okay? Marilyn is an imposter. Sus. Marilyn was
We're getting
once
all the references now into this episode.
yeah.
Wait, Marilyn is which one again?
The elf. The elf lady.
Okay.
So she was once exactly who she says she is now, a happy little elf. But at some point in the past, her brain was scooped out by Una, and she was implanted with some of the queen's own memories. Do you guys remember at the beginning of this episode when I said it hasn't been 300 years yet, though? Right? When Kolfinor is like, something bad is coming, but it hasn't been 300 years, right? So this Aurora is different than all the other Auroras. This Aurora is not being caused by Una. Instead, elsewhere in the multiverse, there's been a bit of a crisis, okay? Time rifts have been growing, and every reality is at risk of becoming undone. Thankfully, we have a little lady named Jessica, thrice touched by infinity, who's willing to sacrifice herself to stop it all, right? But it's that event, the Great Mending, which is triggering a premature Aurora here in Lorwyn. So, like, we have a 5-part series on Jessica and the time crisis, time spiral crisis, time rift crisis, whatever it was called. It ends in like this Great Mending, which like all the multiverse, all the planes in the multiverse are like being affected by this and are like coming undone basically. And then the Great Mending spreads throughout the multiverse and fixes them all.
Okay.
For whatever reason, when the Great Mending fixes like the time crisis, I'm guessing like there's a time jump in Lorwyn and it's triggering the Aurora, right?
Damn. That's from like August 2019. I remember I was in Mexico when we did the at least one of the Jessicas. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's old. Maybe we'll revisit someday. Who knows? Huh?
Yep.
Una is
5
concerned
more
that
episodes.
Yeah.
Una's concerned that since she's not controlling this Aurora, she may lose her memories and personality in the shift, right? So she plucks an elf from the wood, scoops out all her brains and imprints her own memories and juices in there, basically. So Marilyn has no memory of this event happening, but as an elf was kidnapped by the Vendilion clique at the behest of Una and brought to Una, the High Queen, to have her memories carved out, right?
Okay.
Fortunately for Marilyn, unfortunately for the Queen, the Vendilion clique did interfere in the process of scooping out her brains.
Ooh,
And
triple cross?
yeah, it wasn't perfect. I think they're just like tricksters. I think it's just like like we put itching powder in her in her baby powder jar,
Okay.
kind of prank on the Queen. And so Marilyn develops her own personality. She's not kind of like this like automaton husk for the Queen, and she's not just Una herself. And she's like, hey, I'm going back to stop the Queen, right? Because she doesn't learn about this about herself, but they can't stop the plane's shift into Shadowmoor, right? They're too late. The Great Mending happens. The Aurora comes. People change. People transform. They lose their memories, but not Marilyn, because whatever Queen Una did to try and preserve her own memories preserves Marilyn's memories during the transition, right?
Well, that kind of makes sense because the Queen doesn't change when everyone else does, right? She just watches it, absorbs the residue or whatever the fuck off of the whole thing, the event, and then that's it.
Yeah. So Marilyn's the only one of the group who retains their memories, and the sapling of Kolfenor as well. Okay. But other people change, right? The plane's tumultuous shift into Shadowmoor led to immediate chaos centered around Aisling the Pilgrim, now known as the hyper-powerful and destructive Extinguisher. She basically turns into this giant roaming fire elemental, just kind of devastating the land. For much of the year following the Great Aurora, Aisling rampaged across Shadowmoor, attempting to incinerate the world, while the surviving heroes, including a transformed Reese and a merfolk named Sig, and the memory-retaining Maryland and others, fought to contain her. Right? So Maryland managed to hold the band together, along with the sapling somewhat, but they're busy chasing off Aisling, because they're like, well, we got to put the Queen business on the back burner, because we got a mad fire lady who's
Do we know what they turned into? I can't remember their name, but like the duplicitous clique. What do they turn into? Because they already have gross bug legs.
I actually don't know if fairies transform. It might be that fairies get a pass because they all work for the High Queen, but I actually don't know.
Okay.
So quote me on that. It's Lore Boys canon.
Cool.
Okay.
The conflict, climaxed in a frenzied battle where Marilyn lost control of the elemental power. Back to Aisling. Una, despite surviving the Aurora unchanged, was ultimately defeated by a coordinated attack. Okay. Reese absorbs a natural poison of the sapling of Kolfenor, which Una kills. And Aisling redirects her fire, distracting Una long enough for Marilyn to deliver the fatal blow using something called Moon Glove poison. She also, after she usurps Una and takes her place as the Fae Queen, tells Reese, hey, if I ever start doing what she was doing and change away from a 24-hour day-night cycle, use the poison on me.
Okay.
So Una's defeat does restore the plane to a 24-hour day-night cycle. Marilyn does take over as Queen of the Fairies, Queen of the Fae. And this breaks the millennia-long spell and leaves the ultimate fate of the inhabitants rapidly shifting identities unresolved. Okay, so this set came out in 2007, 2008. Lorwyn Eclipsed is coming out next month, January. So it's the next set release in Magic the Gathering.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's been a long time since we covered it. Back then, Magic lore was way more developed in some ways, in that it was in these stories. There's 4 novels written about it, but the novels are very much like, hey, take the characters from the cards and make sure they feature in the book. You know what I mean?
Right.
Take these characters, jam as many characters as you can into these books, kind of thing, right? So, in terms of the overall Magic story, Lorwyn was very self-contained, right? They did have the sort of, I don't even know if at the time it was known that it was the Great Mending causing the premature Aurora. Maybe it was. It was around the time of the Time Spiral too, so the Time Spiral sets as well. So the Queen's dead. Whatever mechanism had kept Lorwyn and Shadowmoor separate in this kind of centuries-long cycle is broken. The artificial barrier between day and night collapses, but the plane does not settle into one state or the other. There are pockets of light and dark puddled throughout the land, with other places called eclipsed areas. So again, the new set is Lorwyn Eclipse. That's not the only big thing to happen to Lorwyn between the original set and next month's expansion, of course. There's also a little thing known as the Phyrexian Invasion of the Multiverse.
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
dude, my boys.
about that one.
Your boys. But we're going to talk more on that after the break. Welcome back. The Phyrexian invasion was not good for Lorwyn, still recovering from the Great Aurora coming undone, their queen dying. It's been about 40 years between when the events of the Lorwyn Shadowmoor block and the Phyrexian invasion in canon. And the Phyrexians find fertile soil for their invasion in a realm still plunged into chaos, right? The invasion profoundly destabilized the plane's existing power structures, starting with those elves who had not reverted back from their Shadowmoor form. So the plane is split when Una dies. You have pockets of light and dark, and so that means you have pockets of like elves which revert back to Lorwyn elves, and you have elves which remain Shadowmoor elves at the time, and that goes
Shadowmoor
for
elves
every
gotta love being completed, dude. They must fuck with that so hard.
Absolutely. So it's mentioned in a lot of this lore. I said all this lore comes from the books. It does not. The lore that we talked about so far does. All the remaining lore comes from Planeswalker's Guide to Lorwyn Shadowmoor, which is an article published by Wizards, basically. But in that, they say explicitly, like, hey, it was easy. They basically had to not change their personalities at all whenever they were touched with the glistening oil or complicated.
Easy.
Yeah.
So there's also a third version. There's also a third realm. Like I said, I'm speculative that we'll see like eclipsed version of the races as well. Like we'll see eclipse elves, we'll see eclipse boggarts, things like that. But remains to be seen. There's been a couple cards spoilered so far, but or like released so far, but not released, spoilered, shown to the people so far, but not the full set. So we don't.
Are those leaks? I mean, I guess it's the same thing. It's like
No.
No,
There leaks do happen, but
okay.
Leading up to the set, Wizards will like piecemeal release like, hey, here's like a chunk of cards for you guys to look at. Here's another chunk to get people excited, and you get it in like manageable pieces, so you can look at all the cards and actually like think about the interactions, and you learn a bit about like, oh, here's a new mechanic being introduced, and then they'll release another batch of cards and kind of go through it. And then usually like the week before the set comes out, they release like the full list of cards, so you can know what you want to find whenever you go to your game store on launch day.
You opened a couple cool ones this weekend. What did you open?
I opened some very cool ones. I don't know where I put them, but they were here before. I opened Firelord Avatar cards from the last set. Firelord Azula with an alt art, which is cool. And Ozai, Phoenix King. Sure, two cards that have really good synergy, good cards from the set. I got the full art version of Azula, which is very cool. I'm happy with them. I have all my cards out. Why I have all my cards on my desk is I'm trying to build a Firelord Azula deck. So that's how it goes.
And yeah, he got all the money value back for the card packs he purchased, which is going to happen every time you buy Magic cards. Okay, guys,
every time. Yeah, and it's just as good to get the value and keep the cards as it would be to sell the cards, right? I'm fine.
Yeah,
to keep them, right. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, it's investments.
Jamie's learning, I think, the correct lessons. Getting into Magic here. Honestly, pack openings is one of my favorite things to watch on YouTube. I love, like, I haven't played with Pokemon cards in 30 years, right? Mm-hmm. I'll put on some pack openings every once in a while just as background noise. Like, I fucking love it, dude. And I
enjoy opening them myself. I get a lot of, like, especially these days, I get a lot of Magic content in my feeds or whatever. But I always skip the pack opening one. Like, I don't care. I don't care what you're opening. Like,
well, I guess I don't get the real world dopamine because I don't open blind packs. I mean, I've opened blind packs of dinosaurs that Jamie got me for gas money, right? Like that's like but like I understand the appeal of a blind box.
Yeah, Ethan made the right play to get people to play more Magic with them because he got me the decks. I've already been looking at cards. I've already told Catherine we're going to the card store this weekend and I'm buying some packs to open up.
The one down the street, the new one?
Yes.
Yeah, hell yeah.
That way.
So the complicated Shadowmoor elves, like you said, Pete, are disturbingly effective. The Phyrexian oil hardly altered their inherent cruelty and prejudice towards other species. The remaining untainted elves recognize the threat, Shadowmoor elves, I should say, forming an unlikely alliance with the other species of Lorwyn to finally gain a meaningful
Okay.
foothold. So the Phyrexian invasion, like as with all the planes we've seen so far, there's very few people who are actually willing to sell out their entire plane to these Phyrexians because they're like, hey, life's not really better on the other side. Like Tezzeret's probably the biggest exception, right? Where he's willing to sell out any number of infinities to the Phyrexians if he can get ahead. But
he got like
for
a
most,
sick arm out of it. He's not like as twisted and fucked up even as like Jin Gitaxias, right?
yeah, he always had that arm. He always had his metal arm though. It wasn't the Phyrexians that gave it to him. So
Oh, I thought it was made of like Phyrexian metal and shit. That's why it's so
yeah,
weird looking.
I think it got upgraded to Phyrexian metal, but he always had a metal arm.
Okay.
He got it
some
at his
stuff,
like
sure.
in his like hometown. He was like a little criminal kid, and
Yeah,
how
I
did
don't
he
even
lose his arm
remember.
again?
I don't
Yeah,
even
I
remember.
remember that
We
story
did
a
an
little
episode
bit.
on Tezzeret's origin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jamie and I retain a lot of magic. I love the lore, not at time of writing, into the cards. Jamie's got both sides of the coin at this point. You're fine.
No, I don't. I'm a newbie, but I'm glad to learn more.
So the alliance allows them to make a unified, successful stand at the elven capital of Lysalana, which stops the Phyrexian push into Lorwyn. When the Phyrexians need more complicated peoples, they turn to the Kithkin, and once more they find some frickin' fertile ground for their invasion. So Kithkin magic includes something called the Thought Weft, which is an empathetic web which connects all the Kithkin. So they basically like it's cool. It's like magic that's like powered by like song and story and like fables power their magic essentially by like building up these like legends in their in their societies, and like you have like more powerful magic if you're like near other Kithkin that you know. Like you're I think they're called clocks or dunes is the Shadowmoor version of the Kithkin village. The Kithkin
They all
village. But
sync up. It's
yeah,
like,
all
you
their
know,
periods are synced.
if one of them has their aurora a few years early, then maybe everybody has it a few years early, you know?
I was thinking about how some of like the Phyrexian tendons and shit look like the top of bass string, right? Like the kind of like like spun metal shit. So that'd be good for their musical their musical brainweb.
Yeah. Well, so the Phyrexians find a way to change the brainweb into their brainweb, and they're able to infect Kithkin along the thought weft. So like where empathic bonds are strongest, they're able to like without even touching the other person with glistening oil. The thought weft is so powerful that they're able to complicate another Kithkin. So
cool. Okay.
Again, fertile ground for their invasion. As the Phyrexian multiverse was being beaten, however, across the plains, it is the Shadowmoor Kithkin which lead the final decisive charge against the Phyrexians. So they are driven by a deep xenophobia that had been validated by the invasion, right? So once again, these are the British. I said it earlier. These are the British people saying it's the bloody immigrants, isn't it? This is. They decide to have a Brexit and kick all the Phyrexians out of Lorwyn. They do overwhelm the Phyrexians. They manage to drive them out. It does coincide with. We haven't talked about the end of the Phyrexian invasion yet. We'll talk about it someday. But there are angels popping around the multiverse, dropping off this stuff called Halo, which helps beat them back as well. So that kind of arrives at the same time as they do this final charge against them. The current era of Lorwyn Shadowmoor is defined by a tenuous peace as the plane struggles to recover from the devastation of the invasion once more. The fundamental instability of the plane persists. Entire villages are subject to sudden transformation because the Lorwyn Shadowmoor lines can move and they can shift and they can flip. It still renders the inhabitants completely unaware they lived a different life. So you could be chilling in town one day and night can fall on your head and you'll forget that you ever lived in daytime and you'll forget who the people around you are, and it's traumatizing. The emergence of the bizarre eclipsed realms only adds to the anxiety. Obviously just like another unpredictable change in their lives. I feel like they need some stability, you know. Lorwyn Shadowmoor needs a father figure.
Telescope. Sorry. Or a dad, I guess.
To invent a telescope or a dad, right?
So all the crime in urban areas is due to a lack of telescopes, is my politics person.
Yeah, Pete's got bad politics. So
we did telescopes in underfunded schools, is all I'm saying.
No, I think we need more guns. So in the political realm,
Class sizes have gotten so big that you need a telescope to see the board from the back because there's just so few teachers. Yeah.
So, but our teachers sure are stellar. Am I right? So in the political realm, right, the power of the Lorwyn Elven Empire post-invasion has significantly diminished. It's created the space for other species to establish influence and stability where they were previously denied. So I think in the coming set, we'll see more like merfolk cities and societies, and we'll see more of kind of like the other societies. Crucially, without Una to perpetually incite conflict, trade and commerce are flourishing, which allows different species to leverage their unique abilities for economic benefit and growth. We are actually, despite the tumult, we are seeing Lorwyn kind of flourish between the invasion and now.
Well, I
Now
can't
being
believe they're
whenever.
flourishing without a fucking tyrant changing the weather.
Yeah,
right?
changing the weather, sending fairies to like incite wars between different groups that are getting too powerful, assassinating anyone who gets too smart, starts to get wise to her. Like, I don't know, man. It's weird that fascism wasn't working for them, right? Because it's working so good for everyone else. So as we've mentioned, the plane of Lorwyn Shadowmoor has those two distinct zones: Lorwyn Day, Shadowmoor Night. They're bleeding into each other. They are divided by and kept separate these days by auroras. So there's like these aurora walls, which will like separate the two zones.
Very cool.
They ebb and flow. They move. Rarely, admittedly, entire plots of land can suddenly shift, transforming everything within them. This change is sometimes caused by the footfalls of the great incarnations, Erdu and Isalu, who we'll talk about in a minute. Where the boundaries of Lorwyn and Shadowmoor grind against each other, pockets of new environments emerge called the Eclipse Realm. So the Eclipse Realms seem to be like at the borders of the Shadowmoor and Lorwyn zones. Not always. It's not like you always have to pass through an Eclipse Zone to get from one to the other. But that it does seem to be like where they pop up the most. There inside the Eclipse Realms, the sun and moon are locked high in the sky as an unmoving mirror of their nature. So Eclipse Realms, it's probably an eclipse guy, right? If I had to guess, that's what I would say. And we've said it before, after the full lunar eclipse a year and a half ago, they're very cool. So I'm looking forward to it.
It was. Yeah. I mean, I remember when we discussed it, when I got to watch that, I was like, if I couldn't read, this would just be magic, right? Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
You could never fucking explain it, and it's crazy. It's a different kind of dark too than it is just at night. It's like a very weird, hazy
uncanny.
dark. Yeah.
Yeah, and I didn't expect the heat difference too. Like just the subtle heat difference, rays not being on you directly for just a moment is like
Yeah.
It was
very
cool.
cool.
We've talked about it before, but I was like, we'd set up camping chairs. We went to like a place that was fully in the path for like the longest amount of time. My wife and I like we had camping chairs in this like it was like a park or like a nature reserve or something, and I like straight up like jumped out of my chair like a gorilla like when it happened. Like I was like, oh my god, look at this, and I was like running around like I lost my mind. But
So cool.
I couldn't imagine if I didn't have access to a smartphone and didn't know what the fuck was going on, how I would react to that.
And your last meal was 4 days ago.
For all of you listening on release too, like the biggest meteor shower of the year is happening right now and will be strongest in Canada this weekend, but is happening all over the place right now. You have to be out of the city, of course, but apparently it's going to be like 100 events per hour of stuff burning up in the atmosphere. So go check that out if you like lunar and space stuff.
I will.
I've seen a lot of cool space stuff because I lived up in northern Canada for a while. Seen Aurora Borealis outside of my kitchen, obviously. I saw maybe Halley's Comet. It would have been a comet that came by in like 1993, 1994. Don't remember.
Halley's
Unbelievable.
Was in the 80s.
And whichever one it was. And then also meteor showers up north. Very cool. I'll Google the comet that came in the 90s.
You weren't alive. None of us were alive when Halley's Comet came by the last time. So.
Well, are we going to be alive for the next one in probably 170 years?
No, it's 2060 something. So we should be. I'm looking forward to it. It's cool to have a thing. It's something that like I learned a while ago. I was like, oh, I'll probably be alive for that, God willing. It's a fun thing to always be like, yeah, I can look forward to this thing in a couple decades. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I like it.
It's nice to have something to live for.
Yeah, true.
Me getting to see Halley's Comet again is what I'm looking for, Ethan.
Yeah. What kind of sucks though is that like, because like Grok just make like a cool picture for me of a comet. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you're right.
So I don't really need to see it anymore.
Jarvis, please put Haley Williams onto Haley's Comet and simulate it in the sky, please. Enlarge 20%. Thank you.
So we've talked about it at length. Creatures. We'll talk a little bit now. That's mostly the history of Lorwyn Shadowmoor. We'll talk a little bit about like the denizens, where we are today, those great incarnations I mentioned a moment ago. We mentioned like there's 2 distinct forms. I think there's going to be a third eclipsed form of most creatures. But some details about we know very little right now. But some details about the eclipsed realms are going to have to come out before we can say that with certainty, because it doesn't seem like a good place to live. When you cross from Lorwyn to Shadowmoor, you're even tiding, whereas when you cross from Shadowmoor to Lorwyn, you're morning tiding. And when you're stuck in the Eclipse realm, you're frozen and disconnected, like Jamie. Your species, whatever kind of creature you are, if you're a boggart, if you're an elf, whatever, you maintain that. But your time, your memories in the other place leave when you cross the borders as well.
Okay.
And you do undergo personality shifts still. Within the Eclipse realms, it said that creatures slowly lose their desires, emotions, and connections to the world, as the contradictions between their 2 sets of memories cannot resolve. Are you back? Oh, yeah. Sorry, disconnect. So, Jamie, we lost Jamie, but we're back. So the act of crossing from Lorwyn to Shadowmoor is known as an eventide or eventiding. While crossing back is a morning tide. A creature crossing an aurora from one zone to another in modern Lorwyn retains its species like before, but memories of their time in the other aspect become murky and lost, and they become paranoid. Their personalities will shift still. Within the eclipsed realms, when you're in an eclipsed realm, creatures slowly lose their desires, emotions, connection to the world, as the contradictions between their 2 sets of memories cannot resolve. These creatures eventually cease movement entirely, becoming husks, known as calciform creatures or simply calciform.
Okay.
So it's the gray realm. You just kind of give up on life eventually until you stop moving and turn into a statue.
Okay. Kind of sounds nice. I just want to calcify my cubicle at this point.
Right? You're doing it whether you like it or not. So
Yeah, no, I have a fucking window seat actually right now. I just watch people get speeding tickets on the highway. It's great.
Yeah. I want to sit alone in my room and watch Sora videos. I want to go on everyone's favorite social media app, Sora, until I calciform. Yeah.
I'll get stuff from Jamie sometimes. I'm like, sometimes it gets me. I'm like, I think it might be real. Liquid now. It's not people's hands anymore. It's the way Liquid behaves is how you can tell it's fucking AI. Ethan, I swear to God, I already barely trust you. Don't you shake that shit in front of my face.
For those of the people in the forklifts right now, if they calcify in a forklift, are they kind of like Phyrexian after because they become part of the machine?
True. Yeah. All the bus listeners too. Yeah.
Just fused to the bus.
Cool.
Hey, listen, if you're on the bus right now, compliment the person sitting next to you. I don't care who they are.
Do it. And blow them a kiss. So following Una's defeat, the 2 parts of the plane, when the 2 parts of the plane merged, 2 huge beings in the plane awakened. They woke up.
Okay.
We got Erdu, the sun's incarnation.
Erdu, please God, make that the name of his army.
And he's got followers. And Isalu, so Lord was canon, they could be the Erduels.
Okay, thank you.
So we got the sun's incarnation and the moon's incarnation, Erdu and Isalu. I'll send you guys pictures. These now we've jumped to modern art, and these ones are very, very cool. Pete, I think you'll get a kick. These massive beings wander the lands, and the ground changes as they walk. While one is active, the other is meant to sleep to keep the plane balanced. Despite their lack of interest in mortals, many have begun to worship Erdu and Isilu as gods.
This fucking decapitated eclipse dragon is fucking insane.
Yeah. It's given a bit of Nicol Bolas, but it is very cool as well, right?
Yeah. I do like it. It has been stuck in my head. I really do like the Hey Arnold call out for the like Hobbit girl here, because what was it? Angela is the bully girl. Oh, Helga, because the elf woman who had her brain like rewritten by the goddess does kind of does give a little bit of Helga, right?
There you go. You could put the elf woman making a chewing gum statue of of the half, or not the halfling, the kith, whatever it is, kithkin.
Kithkin, yeah.
The Kithkin, yeah.
A shrine.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean they're kind of dragons. One of them's got like it's like a fuzzy dragon. He's got a shaggy dew, but he has like a sun, and he doesn't really have a face. He's just kind of got a triangle for a face.
Yeah.
And he's got the sun that's just like hanging off his head, basically. And then the other one is a moon. It actually has like a crescent moon, I guess, but it looks like a dragon that had its head like cleanly cut off. And like where it cut it off, it's like when Hercules in Disney's Hercules cuts off the Hydra's head, and it's like a very
Yes.
cartoony like end of a segmented limb like that. And he's kind of got like clouds which kind of reach around this moon in a sort of like horn shape. Super cool.
The eclipse dragon just like hunting deer to stay to have sustenance, just sucking them up like an anteater into the neck.
Like to the snoot.
So Erdu is the physical form of Lorwyn, and the symbol of the sun. Being near it feels like a gentle breeze. It's got the warmth of spring. It makes people feel refreshed and content with life. If threatened, Erdu can unleash the sun's destructive heat upon its enemies using blinding pillars of light. The adherents of the sun, the Erduels, seek to make the entire plane become Lorwyn. They wear armor decorated with sunburst patterns and wings, which are symbols taken from Erdu's own body, of course.
Yeah.
During the festival of Idle Glare, adherents gather on cold days to perform rituals, building a pyre at a stone monument or in the center of a settlement. They place a costume resembling Erdu atop an elemental and then feed the pyre with crops and valuables until the elemental collapses or they run out of offerings. So it's literally like, can we mukbang an elemental until it dies? It's just like it's how they party, man. And I can't say I disagree with it.
Nico bowl ass avocado.
Yeah. He's all emaciated and gross. He's just like, I have played you all.
Isilu is the living form of Shadowmoor, obviously, and the symbol of the moon. Its presence brings a calm silence and a gentle autumn chill, filling those nearby with understanding and clarity. If threatened, Isilu can conjure the deepest night, covering the world in an unpierceable darkness that crushes the will to live. The adherents of the moon, the Isiluels, claim all of Lorwyn Shadowmoor and wish to convert the entire plane into Shadowmoor, of course.
Okay.
Their armor features moon symbols, clouded headwear, also based on Isilu's appearance. They hold silent ceremonies over their dead who are buried deep beneath the large stone structures that cover the plane. An elemental dressed to look like Isilu stands guard at the entrance to these sacred burial grounds during the ritual. So yes, you want to party with the guys who are mukbanging the elemental, not making him play bounce.
Yeah. All right.
The plane's transformations are frequent, but people have created special items called reliquaries from pieces of Erdu and Isilu. These rare sacred items allow a person to keep their physical form and memories when moving between the plane's two aspects. So there are...
Okay, I guess it does make sense. You'd add a plot device eventually, where it's just like, your main guys can't forget everything they've done.
Yeah, well, they had a reason. They had a justification for not forgetting what happened last time, right? And now they have another reason for not forgetting this time.
Okay.
Legendary dragon toenail clippings. Now I don't forget when I wake up in the morning.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Don't you get it? The nail clippings are shaped like a crescent moon. This is a gift from Isilu.
Ew.
So to stop the change into Shadowmoor, one must carry a reliquary of dawn made from a piece of Erdu. To stop changing when you're morning tiding, one must carry a reliquary of twilight made from a piece of Isilu. Carrying both is believed to allow safe travel through the dangerous eclipse realms without without becoming depressed.
Toenail, and then like a piece of hair or something, like in your gross bag of relics.
Yeah. So yeah, post invasion, we've got the Lorwyn Kithkin, who disconnected from the Thought Weft, found it difficult to return to their communities due to the echoing cries of their complicated allies. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but there was a good chunk of them which broke off from the Thought Weft when it got compromised by the Phyrexians, right?
Okay.
So you have a bunch of Kithkin now who broke off from the... And it said that like there's still in the Thought Weft like the echoing cries of those who had been complicated. So there's still people who are like, I gotta stop doing that.
Can you imagine
If
getting like spam calls from Shieldred directly into your fucking brain?
yeah,
Like
no
I
thanks,
like
bro.
I turned on the new iPhone iOS has like call screening. So all my colleagues who try and call me now because I don't have their phone numbers yet, the phone will just be like, "Who are you and what do you want?" So I get a bunch of text to speech or like speech to text like voice messages of people like, hey Pete, it's Justin from work." Because like my phone is like screening my calls for me now. It's so fucking funny. But it prevents getting the Chinese robots,
There you go.
which is
I
like a
don't get them.
plague
I
in
don't get
Canada.
spam. I don't get spam calls.
They come in waves. It's like tax season, and then like
Never
in the
get 'em.
fall for some reason.
I don't know why I'm lucky. Blessed.
Yeah.
I'm jinxing myself now, but yes. So we got these Lorwyn who are set up their spam detection, but then their family, their relatives who are trying to call them, didn't like it. Said like, "Hey, you're not a Kithkin if you're not willing to risk a spam call every now and then."
Right. Exactly. Yeah. But like when my grandmother calls me, she's trying to. I mean, at time of recording, not trying to turn me into like a machine monster.
Yeah. Well,
Right.
that you know of.
She's just trying to get me to talk to my mom, and I'm not going to fucking do it.
So these individuals form nomadic bands who now wander the plains searching for work and purpose after the war. Most settled Lorwyn Kithkin now seek to integrate, choosing to live alongside other creatures, not just Kithkin. The Book of Kith, their ancestral history is like often upgraded to include like, hey, DEI is good, which I like. Shadowmoor Kithkin, on the other side, had their intense paranoia fueled by the invasion. Right? They're like, this is the Brexiters. Like, we were fucking proven right, man. Immigrants are
DEI
bad.
is bad.
Well, immigrants at least, yeah. Now they never leave the walls of their dunes except to defend against attacks. Oh, I have pictures I'm sharing with you guys. Here's a modern rendition of the two sides of the Kithkin. And following that up, we got more modern renditions of the Boggarts. So Lorwyn Boggarts began holding feasts and sharing stories again, noting that many of their old parables had evolved and diverged. They started creating new magics and documenting them using a basic pictographic language etched into bark and stone. This language communicates simple concepts such as danger, safety, resources, and most frequently, adventure awaits. Isn't that nice?
Bark
The
and stone.
the Boggarts are way cuter
Right?
than I imagined. They look like this is going to be a deep cut that might not resonate with everybody, but if you've ever watched the animated Lord of the Rings films,
Yeah,
this is
I
what
see
the
it.
orcs look like in that.
I can see that.
Which it's British fable, right? So makes sense.
Some may say it's the British fable.
Probably Beowulf, but
Tolkien never existed. He's a fable too.
true. So for Shadowmoor Boggarts, their formerly destructive and mindless way of life became unsustainable after the invasion and the downfall of the elves. So they became a little more cautious. Many have since abandoned their nomadic tendencies in favor of establishing and defending fixed territories. Again, this is kind of around the elves who hunted Boggarts and put them down constant, like genocided them constantly.
Are they tasty or they're just ugly?
Now. They're ugly, exactly.
Oh yeah, okay.
The empire of the Lorwyn elves has dwindled in power following the invasion's destruction of their dominant structure. This decline has allowed other species to gain footholds in the world where they were previously denied. Shadowmoor's elves emerged from the chaos of the invasion with a stable society, surprisingly. Again, they were kind of like in with the compilation. They're like, this works for us. Their fortified safeholds are limited in number. They are the most well-preserved and well-stocked cities across the Shadow, for sure.
Okay.
The Flamekin suffered significant losses, and many entered a deep hibernation from which they are slowly recovering. About half of those who awoke found their connection to the land strengthened, returning as their cold counterpart, the Rhymekin, due to the change in their dormant state. However, many Flamekin remain missing, still trapped asleep beneath the earth. So I sent you guys a picture of a Flamekin and a Rhymekin, basically.
The Flamekin's catbird thing, I want one very badly. Very cute.
I just thinking the same thing. I love the little
Yeah.
cat flaming bird. It's like a phoenix with a cat head.
I already kind of want either like a falcon or an owl because they kind of seem. It's just a cat with wings. Like they just eat rats. It's the same animal, right? They kind of have the same attitude.
You know how owls turn their heads? They can't like move their eyes in their skull in the same way we can, and their eyes are built differently, almost like a telescope, like we were saying. So their eyes are like super specialized.
Well, their schools must be like that's why they're so smart and like classically academic, right? It's because they've got telescopes in their schools.
Yeah, but that's why their heads are so mobile because they're so creepy. Like I never really realized they don't move their eyes in their little sockets.
It's funny. Evolution does not, for the record, I'm not a religious man, despite the orthodox thing. Evolution does not have a plan, but the results are so good. Like, can't move your eyes, spin your head, bro. Like, it's like you still need to fucking look around. What are you gonna do? Just lock in? No.
You just have to throw millions of years of life at the thing and death.
Everything and everyone is the result of a million monkeys on typewriters. You know what I mean? Like it is all just random chance that got us.
Yeah. It's still really cool though, just to find just like, well, you still need to look around, right?
Yeah.
Like I can definitely understand projecting intelligence onto it, not knowing that there's been 1 trillion iterations of an owl, right? Like,
yeah.
That's actually how we got our thumbs. Was the monkeys on the typewriters were able to hit the space bar a lot faster.
Oh, the space bar evolved first, and we had to adapt.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
It's like naturally occurring typewriters. Like, what the fuck?
Toward the end of the invasion, some Cinders, the Shadowmoor elementals, transformed into Rhymekin as well, finding satisfaction in their new icy form. Other Cinders returned to the Lorwyn side of the plane, enduring a long and difficult process to regain their original warmer Flamekin state. The Lorwyn Marrow, which are the merfolk, community is now smaller but more elitist, focusing intense effort on rebuilding their homes in numbers. They're actively forcing themselves back into the specific niche they held before the Phyrexian invasion. So they're
What's the deal pose right here?
Right? Yeah. What's the... and then the Shadowmoor Marrow find it easier than ever to trick desperate survivors out of their limited resources following the invasion. However, the reduction in stable territory across the plane has left the Shadowmoor Marrow fewer targets and less connection to their own kind as well. So these seem to be the guys doing the least well. That's the lore. One detail which I did leave out is the book's end. There's a stinger, the epilogue. Guess who's still alive?
Oh, the
Una.
queen.
Yeah, they didn't kill her. They just defeated her. So she is still kicking, and I do expect that we'll see her printed on a card in the upcoming. Because again, much like when they wrote the books, they were like, "Hey, take every character and put it in this book." I think they're doing the same with Magic sets these days, where they'll say, "Take every character and put it in this set, please."
Okay, yeah.
Looking at Spider-Man, right? But
right.
that's
Who owns Magic now? Is it Hasbro?
Yeah.
Okay, so the three of us are all drinking from the same well now, because Hasbro owns Transformers, and they've been doing crazy crossovers with Monster Hunter, and there's like a Japanese company that are doing like Samurai Optimus as well. So okay, we're all pigs at the same trough at this point.
The Magic Monster Hunter cards just got delayed, which is I don't think ever happened before. But
really,
yeah, they like scrapped it and like no release date. They said like, hey, we got to completely redo the whole. It's not a set; it's a secret layer. So it's like other cards reprinted with like Monster Hunter characters and monsters, I guess.
Art's gonna be cool, man.
I hope so. I almost bought the there's an Optimus Prime Monster Hunter crossover figure, and he transforms into Rathalos, who's like the main red dragon of Monster Hunter. Maybe there's some miscommunication between Capcom and Hasbro, because a lot of the modern figures, all the figures I got this year, the new ones, not the secondhand ones, top tier, excellent, best of the best.
Get a bagel goose.
If they make it, I will. But unless it's like the Rathalos one, the Rathalos figure was garbage. I saw it in person, and it was cheap. It was $50, and it was just like super skinny Optimus, and the entire dragon just collapses onto his back. He's just like, it doesn't fucking transform. It's just like it's like Inside Out sort of thing. It's just bad. Maybe Capcom's got. Well, I mean, I'm not going to blame either billion-dollar corporation here for who is shittier, but they're clearly not like sharing their notes with each other. If they had to delay indefinitely their fucking set.
That's been it for me. Thanks for listening so much. If you like the show, consider leaving us a rating or review on your podcast app of choice. Jamie, Jimbo, what do you want?
Twitch.tv, Loreboy James. Been playing some Baldur's Gate lately. Probably what I'll be playing for the next little bit, because there's a lot of game to cover, but some fun role-playing stuff. You can take part in it, watch me fail some rolls, and hilarity ensues. I got Indiana Jones not too long ago, where a big old boulder rolled over my characters after I failed a check. And you can be around for that. So that's on twitch.tv/LordBoyJames. Peter.
At Loreboys Podcast on Instagram, and then my comic, The Black Frontier, is available on Amazon, linked below. Or at this point, it's probably my own SEO and my cookies and cachet. Just look for it. It's the first result now for me.
Yeah.
Still in erotica, baby.
And if you like the show and want to support us, consider checking out our Patreon link below as well. There's lots of stuff on offer there, so give it a look. And if you don't trust Patreon, we do have a service we've always offered, of course, Lord Boys Prime. And I mean, we have a pretty important election coming up, right? One of us is going to be voted as the daytime host, one of us is going to be voted as the nighttime host, and one of us is going to be voted as the depressed host. Okay. And so you guys, the Prime listeners, do get to vote on that. Who is going to be have to be so depressed that we get to encase them in a cement block and turn them into a statue. It's pretty exciting. I don't. I'm going to take daytime personally. I do think Jamie is a shoe-in for night, so
I could live
maybe.
with night.
I mean, we're going to put it to a vote, so you guys can really fuck us on this. Really fuck us up and have us all do the wrong thing if that's how you vote.
We're recording video. When it actually makes it up, we'll see. But you can see Ethan's very bright, like on the camera. Me, I'm very dark. And Pete, so depressed.
True. Yeah.
I just like Chuck Schumer now. Hang on.
Yeah, you really do, actually. That's crazy. Oh my god!
I wrote a very angry letter to President Trump for all the mean things he said about me on the internet. I think that will help. Actually, that's a good call.
Oh yes, Mr.
Oh
Schubert,
fuck, man! I hate
great
this. Work. Keep it up, brother, until you're 110. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah. And I think that would constitute a Chuck Schumer.
Oh.